Hey everyone, it's Emily. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to those who are new here to a video that I hope is helpful. I do an accessories video usually every year, but I feel like it's been a bit since I've actually talked to you about the accessories that I actually love and use. And I also am including some filming things because I have had questions in the past what I currently use for lighting and cameras and gear. So we're gonna put it all in one video. I hope you find this helpful. I of course want to know what you love and use because I have specific things for puzzling, but there are so many DIY options out there. When I started off puzzling, I didn't have any of this, but now that I have it, I love it and use it. But are they necessary? No, but if you're wanting to have some ideas, maybe you're just getting into puzzling, maybe you're looking for good gift ideas, or maybe you want to maybe just enhance your setup, here are some things that I love and use, and we're just gonna get into this. I hope you enjoy this video. Let's get started. First, let's start off with box top holder. I have this one from Zaco. It is wooden, it is handmade. You can get it engraved or personalized, which is really fun. This is something that he did gift to me, and I do love having one. Is it necessary? No, I had lived with just putting the box inside the bottom of the box for years, but what I do love about having this is that it takes up a lot less of a footprint on my table. I can just have it off to the side and it's secure and it's away and it's propped up nicely at a good angle. So I do love having one. I have tried other versions. I have had the one from Puzzle Peak, which is great because it has an option to put a poster in it, which if you are someone who loves to use a poster, it kind of has a way for you to like slide it in and still be at its angle. You can do a poster with these. If you put it on its side, you can slip in the poster this way, but if it's a really large one, it might not have the same sturdiness as if you had the other one. But I do love having these. I personally would love to have the regular block version engraved with like the casual puzzler. That's a future want, you know, but I do love having one. It is helpful, and this is what I currently use. Next up, we have our sorting trays. These are the ones that I currently use probably like 60% of the time that I'm puzzling. These are the ones from Nariolar, I think is the brand. They have a few different versions. They have a lot of different sizes too. So if you want like massive ones, they have that. They come in packs of 6. 3 of the ones are currently housing the 4,800 piece puzzle that I'm doing from Pintu. So that's where the other 3 are, but using 3, you can easily do like a 1,000 piece puzzle. If you had all 6 going, you can do a lot of really good sorting. I like these because they're good service size. You can get quite a bit of pieces in here. You can sort by piece shape and they're not going to move around like crazy. I have a whole video about how I discovered these ones, which I'll link down below if you're interested in investing in some sorting trays. I do like having them. I forget the price point, but I do use these all the time just because I do own them and I'm going to use them. I had used foam board for years and that worked great. It's a great like affordable option. I know a lot of people just use cardboard, you know, and that works too. But if you're wanting specific ones of like what I currently use, it is these guys and I love having them. If I'm not using those sorting trays, I'm using these sorting trays. And this is actually part of the sponsorship for today's video, which is the All4Jig. These sorting trays I got in my original All4Jig puzzle table. It's something that I purchased on my own. I've had it for a few years now. And these trays are from that table. So if you are in the hunt for a different puzzle board or puzzle table, it's kind of nice because you do kind of get a 2-in-1. You get some sorting trays and you get a nice puzzle surface. So this is something that I use all the time because they are massive. This is a giant like cookie sheet style of sorting tray. It does have like a little handle here. I do love having it because it's giant. You can probably get like 3, maybe 4 layers of pieces in here. So if you are doing a big puzzle, it's nice because you have like a lot of room to work with. They're not going to slide around. If you are doing some shape sorting, they don't budge, which is really great. The budging right here with this one, because this is a plastic puzzle, but if you're using regular cardboard puzzle, you don't have that issue. I love having these. I use these all the time. I probably use it more than the actual puzzle table itself, and it's such a great investment. Now, if you're wanting what I use for like a surface of my puzzling, I sometimes will just use this table here, which is just like a desk thing that I got when I redesigned this puzzle space. But most of the time I'm actually using my puzzle board. So I had the tilting and rotating puzzle board from All4Jig, which I love. It is probably my favorite one of theirs just because of the background. It's gray, it's linen-y, it like keeps your pieces together up on its angle without sliding, but you can also like move them around with like no catches or pills. It is a nice, easy to maintain style of puzzle board. I truly love and use it. It also has some boards in there too, which is also handy. They're not as large, but they are pretty deep, which is great. So I use that one most times. And then if I'm like cozy in front of the TV downstairs near the couch, I use my original All4 Jig puzzle table, which I love. It has little legs that you can like sit underneath, or you can prop it up on a table if you wanted to. So those are what I'm usually using for puzzle boards. If you are curious, I have tried other ones in the past, and I just feel like they're a little bit more upkeep and didn't last as long. And I so far have been loving these ones. So I'll link all their stuff down below. I do make a small commission if you do use those links. So thank you so much if you are in the need of one and you'd want to try out their stuff. Thank you so much. Also, thank you so much to All4 Jig for sponsoring this video and my channel to make all these fun little videos possible. But we're just going to get into the other stuff, so let's get into it. One of my tried and true items that I love to use for a variety of different reasons is foam board. This one is just one that I picked up. It is well loved. I've had it for years, since Temecula, probably 4 years now. I have a couple packs of them and I get them from Amazon. I get these specific ones because they fit a 1,000 piece Ravensburger puzzle. You can get some at Dollar Tree, at least the ones near me are a little bit narrower, so you can't fit 1,000 pieces Ravensburger. I feel like it's like an inch or two short, where this one actually fits perfectly. So I do love having them. I think they're a pack of 6. And I think out of all the things that I've ever recommended on my channel, these are easily the most purchased through my Amazon links. I want to say retail for like $25, which for foam board, you're like, that's kind of pricey, but it's the size that works so well. And these have lasted me ages. I use them for piece shorting. I use them often for just like storing a bunch of puzzles if I need to put them aside for another project. They usually live on here, and then they have like a stack of them in the corner. I use them if I'm doing a specific video, I need to like write on something, I will use this. These have been in so many different videos. They're very handy to have on hand if you are, maybe you want to start filming some content. Just being able to like move your puzzle around is great, and it doesn't weigh anything, which is awesome. So love having these. Great option if you are filming, or if you're just a puzzler and wanting some options for like DIY sorting trays. You can easily cut this into 4s and have 4 sorting trays, which is great. I have done that before. If you're doing smaller puzzles on your lap, you can do it that way. So these are very handy to have on hand. So I love having it. Now, even though I love having the foam board, I was really curious about having this guy here. This is from All4 Jig. It's something I purchased on my own because I was really curious about having something like this. I'm in the middle of a couple different projects that requires the puzzles to be out and together for long periods of time, and they are puzzles that I am going to keep together forever. And so for me, I really didn't have a dedicated place for that, because I'm not going to like hang all these puzzles up in my house, but I did need a way to store them. And so that's where this little portfolio comes into play. I believe I got the medium size one. They have a large size too if you do like 1,500 piece puzzles, but I got this one, which is supposed to be for 1,000 piece puzzles, and it stores, I want to say like 30 puzzles, but I think you can do more than that if you did like front to back, because that would also give a little bit more support. Anyways, I'm showing you this. I'm still figuring it out. Currently it has just a couple puzzles in here for my tracer project, and it works great so far. I do like it. It has all these little plastic sleeves that you can put your puzzles in and then store. It has a little clip here, and then I just store it vertically, so it takes up no space in my room so far. It does have a handle here. So I thought this would be a great option for me, because I do projects which require me to have a lot of puzzles together for a while, and I don't want to take up my foam board. So I do like having this. I will continue using it and giving you more of a review as I figure it out. So far, I like it. It is doing what I need it to, which is great. Another little thing that I use for puzzling is this guy here. This is a little tiny vacuum, which I didn't think this was necessary. It definitely isn't necessary, but I do love having it. I do think it could be different. I got this one because of the cute factor, but I have seen other ones that work a little bit better. So I'll just like put the style thing down below. It's like this little like desk vacuum, and it's great because if you have, say, a very dusty puzzle, you can just you know, and it just like picks up the dust, which is awesome, versus like having to go on the floor or having to like put it in the trash. You can do quite a bit with this little guy here. I haven't needed to take out the batteries yet. Like, it's still lasting fine. I know there are other ones that are like rechargeable and such. I just got this one because it's a ladybug and it's cute. It does what I want it to, but I wouldn't say like you would still have to like wipe off your table if there's like a lot of dust, you know, but it does take up the majority, which is what I like, especially if I'm like filming and I just like need this space to be a little bit more pristine. It's nice having. So again, necessary? No, but it is helpful. So this is something that I love to use. One thing that I don't have here, but they are downstairs and I love using them, are these flexible boards that I got from Dollar Tree. They're cutting boards that I found in the little kitchen section. They come in a 2-pack. They are clear. You can use them for like sorting pieces if you wanted to, but what I use them for is when I'm putting away a puzzle. So I sometimes have like difficulty gripping pieces. And for this, it makes putting away a puzzle so easy. You can just like break up your puzzle, slide most of the pieces on these little cutting boards and then bend it and then put all the pieces in the box. It takes probably like 10 seconds to put away a puzzle. And I know it's something minor, but it's something that really has helped me because there are days where I'm really achy and picking up a bunch of pieces to put in the box. It's just like time consuming and not the best situation. So I do love having that. It's a very inexpensive thing that's helped solve a problem for me. So I do love having those on hand. And then the final thing that is kind of helpful for puzzling and also for filming, and then we'll move into the other filming items, is this guy here, which I did invest in. This is something that I love to use mostly for filming, but it has been a great option for puzzling at night. It is my little light that I got from Canvas, and it was pricey. It was a pricey thing. It's something that I had hemmed and hawed about for years. And I decided to go with this one. I had tried other versions that just didn't last as well. But this one here so far, I've been loving. I've had it for a couple months and I'm so glad that I invested in it. So they have versions where it has a stand, but I wanted one that specifically clips to my table so that way I could have it as far away as I could and it's not going to be in the frame. I also love that it has this magnetic option so I can put my phone right on here and have it film through this little hole, and then the lighting is really great. I do think it is still going to have issues if you have a super glossy puzzle because that's just how glossy puzzles are. There's going to be a little bit of a shine to them, but I do love having it. It does have multiple settings for dimness or brightness or color if you want warm, cool, daylight. It also has just like beautiful light. It covers the whole surface. I really love having this so far. What I also love is that you really don't have to adjust anything. For some reason, when you are moving the arms, it always keeps things level. So it really requires zero effort, which I love because I have tried again other versions where I'm like tightening things and making sure things are right. And then you put your phone on it and then it like gets a little bit weird and it's just like a hassle. This has solved my problems with that. And so it was pricey, but I feel like it's going to be something that I use a lot. And I use it a lot even when I'm not filming because it has great lighting. So if you're wanting some good lighting, it is a nice thing to invest in. Again, maybe like a good gift idea. And especially if you are someone who is wanting to maybe start filming your stuff, it is very helpful to have on hand. And I am happy that I did invest in one. So now we're moving into like what I use to film my videos and to create content stuff. So if that's not you, if you just don't care about that, thank you so much for watching. I hope you like this video, but we are going into all the more technical stuff that I use. And so hopefully this is helpful. If you were just curious of what I currently use, maybe you want to start your own channel or maybe you want to do some Instagram stuff. I do have some more like professional things, but then I have some things that are good for like just the everyday use. So hopefully you just find this helpful. So first up we have is this guy. And I originally had an Octobuddy, which is like a sticker that you put on your phone. And then you have these little section cups, which makes it really helpful if you're vlogging out and about, you just want to like do a quick clip somewhere. These little guys stick to so much. They stick to walls, they stick to windows, they stick to random things in the store. Like it's a great way for you to like easily prop up your phone and it's at its right angle. And it's just very helpful. However, my Octobuddy kind of made my phone case really disgusting. So I ended up getting this one, which is magnetic and actually fits like the iPhone, like magnetic bits on the back of the phone. And so this makes it really easy because I can just like plop this on. It's fine. It doesn't move. It's actually kind of hard to take off sometimes, but it makes it so I can easily like prop my phone up on the window when I'm filming in here and I don't have to worry about it budging or whatever. It is such a nice handy thing and I love having it. And then I also got a new magnetic phone case, which also means that I can also use this too, which is such a great thing to have. I'll put what it is down below. It's a little tripod that you can now like prop up. It goes pretty tall. I want to say it goes to like 6 feet tall. Don't quote me on that, but I think it's 6 feet tall. And it's very compact. I can easily have it in my backpack or traveling. It has a little Bluetooth thing, so if you wanted to use it as like a remote to capture things, you could. I don't use that so much. So this is something that is very handy. I used it a ton when I was filming at Puzzle Warehouse because I could just like carry it around with my phone on there. And again, it's very compact and easy to use. I love having this. So this is something that with this and like the new phone case, it just like makes my life so much easier. And I don't know why it took me so long to get something like this. So these are very helpful. Another contraption that I have that I don't have up here because it lives down in my old puzzle space is my giant over the head video system. I don't know what it's actually called, but it is a system where it clamps onto your table and you have a phone holder that goes above, or a camera holder that goes above your table. It was very helpful when I was doing the 5,000 piece puzzle because that table is massive, that puzzle was massive, and it's hard to capture the full thing on camera because it's a big thing to try to film. And so I did get this contraption, which was kind of pricey, but it was very helpful. Moving on to the light equipment that I use for my channel, I do of course have the overhead light. I use a lot of natural light now, but I do have a couple other lights that I use. So one is my ring light that I've had for years. Like before my channel, I had it for photography stuff. And I don't know the brand. I'll have to put everything down below, but it has held up great. You know, it works. It has like the stand where you can like tilt it and lean it. And then I also got this big, massive professional photography light, which I am still playing with. I feel like I still haven't found the right settings for this space, but it is a nice, beautiful light. It has like this like grid over the umbrella. I'll put what I'm showing you on the screen because it's hard to describe, but it is a really beautiful, bright light. It has a couple different settings. You can do warm, cool. You can control exactly how many lumens it's doing. Like, it's a beast. It also has this giant stand, which is very heavy. It has nice big wheels. It does have like an overhead feature if I want to do overhead stuff with it. It is such a beast, and it was an investment this year. I would love to have a second one because then it can like balance off each other. And I think that would be like my perfect light setup. So that's what I'm currently using for lighting. Finally, let's move into cameras. Again, most of the time I'm just using my phone and it works for what I need it to. But I do have a few other options that I've used in the past that I'll just like briefly mention. So I have my actual DSLR camera, which I use for actual photography. I did my niece's photos recently for her senior pictures, and I like filmed a baptism. Like, this is the beast that I use for photography. What's great about using this versus a cell phone is that if I'm doing like large prints, it doesn't come out grainy or pixelated. So I can do like a big giant poster with this and it's not going to have any type of issues. I like this as a ton of settings on here. I like using it in manual mode. Like, this is the camera that I use. I originally started my filming for my channel with this camera, but the only issue is that it does not do 4K because made before that was a huge thing. So I do still think the digital option is great, like for video, and oftentimes it does look better than my 4K with my phone. So I mean, it just has a better resolution in general. So I do have this one. I do wish that it kind of like you could film for longer periods at a time, because it can only do 20 minutes at a time before you have to restart everything. So if you're doing a long video, every 20 minutes I'm gonna have to like restart it, which is not the best for filming. So I do love having it for photography, for filming. It's something that I've kind of like retired at this point just because it doesn't do what I need it to most of the time. So it is a nice thing to have on hand. I do love having it. I do use it, but not for filming anymore. We then have this little guy. This is a GoPro. I forget what version. This is one that can do 4K, but again, only for 5 minutes at a time. Other filming, it can go for longer, but it gets really hot, which I don't love. So I don't think this is something that I would use on the regular, maybe if I'm doing like action shots with my puzzles, but it's something I do own. So I just thought I'd mention it if you're considering using a GoPro for filming. And then the one camera that I do love having, I use it a lot for vlogging, is this guy here. It's from Sony. I forget what it's actually called. I'll put it down below. But this one I can use in 4K, which is great. It has a built-in microphone that you can use. I often will use my current microphone setup, which I'll talk about in a second. But it is a great little camera. I love using it. I love that you can flip it out and you can see yourself while also filming. It's not very heavy, which is great. You can put it on a tripod if you wanted to. So I feel like out of the cameras that's not my phone, this is the one that I use most often because it does what I want and it's not very big and bulky. And then finally, the last thing that I use are these microphones. So this is from Rode. They were an investment last year. I always try to invest in like one big item each year. And so last year was the microphones to improve the audio of my videos. And I do love having them, especially with this camera here. The audio of this camera is awful. So switching to the Rode ones really did help, but I feel like the microphone in my phone is okay most times. But I do like having the option to be like going throughout the room, or maybe if I'm shopping somewhere, that I can have the microphone here and it's not going to get weird as I go far away from the camera, or I can be like whispering into it, you know, and I can still get pretty decent audio versus if I was with my camera, you might lose a little bit of the volume. So I do like having them. Those are what I use for my microphone setup. Again, I'll link whatever I can down below of stuff that I use. I know a lot of this is a little bit much for people who are just starting out, but this is what I truly use both for my puzzle accessories as well as my filming stuff. I don't know if anything else calls out to me to shout out, but if I think of something, I'll link it again down below. But hopefully you found this video helpful. Thank you so much for tuning in. Also, thank you to All4Jake for sponsoring this video, and I will see you guys all in the next one. Bye guys.